Good day, my name is Ashley Torres, English 3236 student, section 030. The following project was inspired by the instability and lack of electricity situation attacking Puerto Rico. Without further ado, this is exploring alternative energy options, wind power. Introduction. Nowadays, Puerto Rico lacks alternative energy sources to counter its dependency on petroleum. Although there is water and sun-based energy, which are both viable options for Puerto Ricans, today we will be focusing on the often disregarded wind power energy, which can be achieved through aerogenerators which capture wind and convert it to electricity. This type of energy is a valid option in case of fire or natural catastrophes, such as the recent blackout caused by the fire in the electric generator. In addition, there are wind farms that currently coexist with crops, such as Santa Isabel, Puerto Rico's wind farm, which has been existing since 2008. A possible solution to the prior is to promote the use of wind power as a viable alternative for producing electricity to power up large machines. In the following, visual aids will be presented with information about wind turbines, wind conduct, suitable wind farm location, among others. Optimal locations for possible wind farms in Puerto Rico. As you can see, these are suitable locations for wind farms in Puerto Rico due to its proximity to the coast and open spaces with little to no tall tree disturbance. These are Arecibo and Salinas. However, there has been criticism concerning visual disturbance in Salinas, which could be considered a problem when changing to wind power. Wind farms in Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, wind power was used in the sugarcane production throughout the 16th century. Later on, in the late 17th century, more wind turbines were installed, but this time as part of a demonstration project funded by the United States, NASA, and AEE to further explain how useful these were in agriculture. Wind turbine requirements. To achieve successful wind farms, geographical conditions must be suitable for the size of aerogenerators. Each generator must be built horizontally, and the surroundings must have active wind. In addition, each aerogenerator consists primarily of turbines, a motor, and cables connecting to voltage lines. Wind power conversion. The energy conversion process consists of the following steps. Wind causes movement in the turbine blades. This rotation creates sparks, also known as wind energy. These sparks move along the voltage lines, which all connect, and energy is converted to electricity. Though wind power conversion takes some time and consists of many steps, this general summary is the basic layout of how wind power is converted to electricity. Then electricity is divided into other voltage lines, which are consequently loaded into a grid alongside other generators. Lastly, the energy is consumed, as normally, by businesses and the general public. Energy consumption in Puerto Rico. Energy consumption in Puerto Rico is higher on smaller businesses and residential areas. Only 1.9% of the energy used derives from wind power. Last year, PREVA did a study concerning the energy used in Puerto Rico, and from the 2% deriving from alternative energy sources, 2/3 were from wind power. Energy consumption in Puerto Rico, 2010. As shown, residential and small commercial areas hold the highest percentage of energy consumption with 37 and 48% respectively. Next follows large commercial areas and miscellaneous. In terms of energy generation, more than 2/3 is based on petroleum, 71.82%, followed by natural gas, coal, wind, hydro, and finally solar. According to the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, the goal is to change 20% of petroleum-based energy to renewable energy by 2035. Wind power disadvantages. Though wind turbines have a set of advantages, it can also be unpredictable and cause damage to neighboring wildlife. According to Rinkesh, there are six major disadvantages, including noise disturbance, threat to wildlife, wind unpredictability, region suitability, visual impact, and safety concerns. Noise disturbance. With the upcoming wind generator designs, public disturbance caused by the blade movements will be inevitable. Future air generators will achieve 47.5 megawatts with blades going up to 168 miles per hour. In this image, you can see how the scale of air generators can go up to. For example, it's compared to the Statue of Liberty and the Big Ben, achieving greater heights and causing more public disturbance. Threat to wildlife. Since wind turbines require ample space, its construction calls for digging, thus destroying underground habitats. In addition, birds and other flying creatures consider these turbines as threats. It could also prove to be a threat for commerce development due to the fact that buildings, houses, and tall trees disrupt airflow, thus derailing wind activity. Wind unpredictability. Some areas have low wind strength and can prove to be unreliable for energy in case of emergency situations. This wind direction atlas serves as a guide for optimal usage of wind flow for aero generators, but it is not 100% accurate. This is the problem with wind, as it is not something you can predict easily and can change according to the day. Region suitability. Wind turbines are suited to regions that receive wind throughout the whole year, such as coastal regions. Regions closer to the city are less likely to receive wind. This chart is an example of wind speed distribution by hour of the day. Values shown are monthly averages of measurements made by anemometers. Through this, wind strength is measured to determine the prime hour for wind power conversion. Visual impact. Some people consider wind turbines to not be visually pleasant. For some, they take away from an environment's natural beauty. However, this is purely subjective, as others can perceive it as magnificent and breathtaking. Safety concerns. Turbines can be a safety hazard if they are not placed in an ideal location. A constant worry for general public is the possibility of turbines falling. If these turbines fall, they can cause irreparable damage after a natural disaster. However, this can happen with any poorly constructed project, such as buildings, towers, and other tall structures. As long as closed-off surroundings with large objects are avoided, such as neighborhoods or forests, wind farms have a great possibility of thriving and not causing damage. Frequent inquiries. What other energy alternatives can Puerto Ricans explore? Besides wind power, Puerto Ricans can also explore solar and hydro energy. What limitations or problems have arisen when attempting to change the island's current petroleum dependency? The downfall to changing to renewable energy is the cost for the installment of equipment required to convert alternative energy to electricity. Another limitation would be the unpredictability of nature, causing it to be less trustworthy than a non-nature dependent energy, such as petroleum-based power. Are Puerto Ricans informed about alternative energy sources? Nowadays, there are few companies, such as Solaris, which offer information and services for renewable power equipment. However, in general, alternative energy is not commonly discussed among Puerto Ricans, which causes misconceptions at the moment of changing from petroleum-based energy to wind or solar power. which is the most viable energy alternative for Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico's most viable energy would be wind power, with solar coming a close second. Due to the constant wind flow in the island, lack of wind for ever generators is not a problem. On the other hand, since it rains for about a third of the total of days in a year, the function of solar equipment might be disrupted. What can be done? In hopes to promote viable energy sources, Puerto Rico could install air generators in every town to decrease petroleum-based energy. Also, it could promote alternative energy sources for larger companies in order for them to sustain and generate their own power. A general power source is important to be able to provide energy in case of emergencies. By having central air generators in every town, it would not be necessary to rely on other cities in case of power outage, due to the generated and stored wind energy. Conclusion. Finally, the installation of wind power generators can be of great use for future calamities. However, large trees and buildings disrupt natural wind conducts and affect the efficiency of wind turbines. Additionally, increasing sizes of wind turbines will prove to be a disadvantage to neighboring communities. With wind power energy, the effects of disasters such as the recent blackout, which affected approximately 85% of the population of the island, can be minimized. Though there are disadvantages to wind power, the advantage of having stable and renewable energy ultimately overpowers the possible flaws. Puerto Rico has various ample spaces to accommodate these air generators without disrupting nature or human activity. These are the sources used for this project, in addition to the ones specified under each image. Thank you for your attention. I hope this was of great use. Have a great day.